up, guys? It's your boy Sean Flack 2.0 coming at you live and direct here from the studio. Here we are, episode 7. Sensei John is back in the house, and we have a special guest. Well, before we get started, let's go ahead and get some intros out. Then we'll announce our special guest with us. Obviously, you guys know who I am. My name's Sean Flack 2.0. Above me here, I got Mr. Crinley. He's actually a little in the middle at this point. Mr. Crinley, how we doing today?
Doing all right, doing chilly.
Okay. We got 3 across the top, so you're going all the way to the right-hand side. New York, what's up, man? How you doing this evening?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm having a rough day. My back is killing me. It's been a week.
Oh, I heard the hell out of that. You know, it's Saturday, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we got Sensei John in the house, back in the house, the international man of mystery himself. How you doing today, sir?
Yes, sir, man. I'm back with a tan, got my gun showing, we had a good time. But today we got something great for you.
Okay.
I'm glad to be back.
Okay, all right. And joining us in the studio via satellite, we have one of our friends here, Ja. Ja, how we doing this evening, sir? Thank you for joining the show this evening.
No complaints, man. I'm doing just fine. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, good. I appreciate you. So what's going to end up happening tonight? We do something a little different, not too different, a little different. I'm going to go ahead and send this off to Sensei John. Let him take care of the show for you. Before we get started, let's do some quick shout-outs, though. So shout out to ShadowPackWest.com to all of our patrons out there. If you guys are interested in becoming a patron, you can head over to ShadowPackWest.com and hit that Become a Patron button on the splash page. Head over to our Patreon page where you can start your patronage as little as $1 a month. And what that gets you is access to now over 30 episodes of After Dark and behind the scenes episodes where we get a little bit more nitty gritty, a little loose with the conversation. Our second to the last episode, not this last one, but there is a free episode that's on there that kind of opens up a little bit, gives you guys a preview. Go ahead and check that one out there. It was a really good episode. It is free for everybody that just wants to see what the After Dark episodes are about. Again, ShadowPackWest.com for that. Crinley, you got any beginning of the show shout outs?
I guess my usual shout out to old Chiron for filling in last week.
Yeah.
Hanging out with us.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead
and
give Chiron the horns. Okay, my horns work.
Pew,
pew, pew, pew. And as always, the Haney Family Photography website.
Okay.
All right.
Check it out.
Njord, what you got for us?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be a little selfish this time.
Yes.
I'm gonna shout myself out. I
Amen
have
to
worked like a damn dog all week. I don't think I got home. I started work at 6:30 on Monday. I didn't get home till 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. And then just problem after problem, and then I'm on call right now. So for all of you guys who are listening and or watching, if I dip out, it's because I've got to go to work. So just kind of putting that out there.
Okay. All right. We always appreciate you giving us your time here on the show. And Sensei, what you got for us today, sir? What's our shout out for today?
Your boy a little hungry today. First giving honor to God who's the head of my life, Jesus Christ, baby. Always give a shout out to you fellas for taking time out to make this possible so we can do some dad life and dad vice adventures. Shout out to my big cuz up there, man. Welcome.
Okay. John, I want to say welcome to the show. Do you want to shout out anything or anybody before we get the show started?
Shout out to all you guys for having me on. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for having me on. That shout out to you guys.
Okay. All right, Sensei, take it away, sir. What you got for us?
Well, today we have a special episode for those people who are trying to make a way for their kids to try to get to college. We got a financial guru, Big Ja in the house.
No pressure.
to try and give us some step by. I won't say step by step. We don't want to get him in trouble. He's just gonna give us some generalized information that you may not know about being a parent for your kids. And he says we as dads right here are ahead of the game. So I'm very interested to see what Ja has to say. I always want to say big cuz because that's my cousin, Born and raised in the town, town business.
Town business.
Where you located at now, Big Cuz?
We actually living up in Evanston, Illinois. It's just north of Chicago. It reminds me of Palo Alto. It's built around a college town, Northwestern University, which is like Stanford. Been here for about 20 years, 22 years, and I think this is where we're probably going to end up. My wife is always talking about maybe moving to another country or something, but I'm like, look, we're starting to get older, and you need to be near a major medical facility, man. That's where I am at this point.
That's real. Hey, that's real.
It's
All right. Before we do
nice
that,
to have someone else in
what
the
we
Central
got to
Standard
do.
Time.
Yeah.
It is
what we got to
late.
do. Friendly, what we got to do?
We got to do.
What is in your cup?
Hey, there we go. Give us some something. I love it.
And tonight I'm doing a clear American still. I got a little
All right.
thing. Just taking a little break from the brews. Little
Yeah.
Sierra Nevada here.
All right.
Okay.
A little closer to me than you. All right. All right. York, what you got in your cup?
I am rocking that Crystal Light
right.
strawberry lemonade because guess
Hey.
what? I can't drink.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Crystal Light. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Big Flat, what you got in your cup, boy?
You know what? Tonight, man, it's just a basic night. I'm a basic, I'm a basic dad tonight. It's just a Diet Coke. It's just a little sippy sip.
Hey, man, I'm right along with you.
Okay.
All I got is some chai tea up in this joint.
Oh, you still
I'm
with
turning
the
into Sadiddy Dad, chai tea. Big Job, what you got up in there, man? You got some water or something?
I don't
Got
have
you.
anything in my cup, but I
Got you.
just downed about 40 ounces. My doctor's got me doing 64 ounces a day, and I think that's what everyone else should strive for. 64 ounces of fluid.
Half a gallon, huh?
As long as I'm getting that down, man, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, man. Half a gallon. I got my other at home. I got my gallon right here,
It looked
What's
kind of
up?
heavy though, so it's late in the day. It looked kind of heavy though. So you might have to take a couple swigs of that.
I'm have to pull him out, huh?
You waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, got to go to the bathroom.
Hey, waking up that early, I got to go to work too.
Yeah, amen to that.
But yeah, so that's what's in your cup. So we're gonna get the show started. Ja, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, JB, thanks for inviting me on. You sent me some great questions about prepping your kids for college, financing college, things of that nature. And I'm here to tell you that if you start early enough, and you guys are all in that range, when I say early enough, I mean like middle school. If you start early enough, you won't have to pay for college.
Oh wow.
It's really
I can't
that
wait to
simple.
hear this.
You are building, you have to think of your children as a house, a portrait, a painting, something like that. There are about 4 million kids who graduate from high school every single year, and each one is an individual house portrait. Some people started building their houses, junior year, sophomore year. They're a little bit behind the gun. People who started building their houses in middle school, they're the ones who are going to be like sending their kids to like the top schools and things of that nature. So as long as you start early, some of JB's questions were kind of specific. I'm not going to get into specifics. Take advantage of every financial plan that you can. You may even want to think about some outside of the box ways of financing college. Something that my wife and I talked about. We purposely moved here to Evanston to be in a college town so that she could go work at Northwestern, and Northwestern gives a very healthy tuition benefit to any school that my kids that they want to attend. So that's another out of the box way of financing college. But if you build a really nice house, you build a sweet house, you start building your house in elementary school. by the time you get to high school, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, that's a really nice house. I want to pay him some money so that I can live in that house."
Correct.
Whereas if you start building your house in junior year, everybody else is starting to build their house in junior year. Might be a trailer. And they're going to be like, "Okay, we got a bunch of those. We don't want any of those. We want the big mansion on the lake that has, someone started building that 20 years ago, not yesterday." So that's how you have to think of your kids when it comes to thinking about financing college. All of you are absolutely in the right stage. If you start investing early, it pays off later.
Let me ask you something. As a dad, and for me, I don't know if all the other fellas feel like this, but I feel like it's good that you came on because I feel like even with my 8-year-old, I was late, because we didn't start putting away until she was about 5. So I thought I was like late. So it's good to hear that we're ahead of the game. Ain't that good to hear, fellas?
Far ahead of the game.
Amen to that.
And if you invest your money wisely, you don't have to save any money. And when I say invest your money wisely, you're spending money on the front end. That's an investment in your kid. So if your kid has a skill, if they show an interest in anything whatsoever, throw a little bit of money at it. And start painting this picture, making this beautiful house. 12, 13 years down the road, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh man, that is a beautiful house. I need to get in there."
Well, and
that's when the colleges start throwing you a bunch of money.
So let me get a little clarification. So when you say build this house, and you talk about just the comment that you just made, investing in money, investing that front end. So are we talking about extracurricular activities? Is that what we're talking about? Okay.
We're talking about extracurricular activities. We're talking about test prep. We're talking about tutors. Best money I've ever spent. It's the best money I ever spent.
Wow. Okay.
That's
Tutors.
kind of interesting.
Prep in middle school. Go ahead.
That's really interesting because I can see the benefit for the extracurriculars, right? Because the first thing that obviously comes to my mind is sports scholarships, right? I had a full ride to Boise State until I injured my shoulder my senior year, so I can actually see that happening or applying if you start like a kid early enough in a sport, they become great at it type deal. Okay.
Yeah, so don't pigeonhole yourself into sports. My oldest, she was gifted in math and science, so I threw money at that. She played some sports, but I tended to throw the money at the stuff that I saw that was like really, really promising. My youngest.
How were you throwing money at like math and science?
There are so many different college programs throughout the nation. All you have to do is Google. My kids have been on a college campus since 3rd grade.
Okay.
Google.
Okay.
I don't know what cities you guys live in. I know if you live anywhere near Stanford or Berkeley, there are summer, after school, weekend classes for every kid starting in elementary school.
Wow.
Okay.
Um,
Is there a
No,
national?
and
Is there a national database of possible things to do for in your counties or wherever you live?
Google it. Just Google it. Whatever. Start. So I don't know, John. You're up in Vallejo, Sassoon.
Yeah.
Okay. So start with the closest major university, D1 university. So you start with Berkeley. Go to their websites and just type in high school, middle school, elementary school programming, and it'll all pop up.
Okay.
if-
We'll
may
do
have to
that
drive
in
to
each one of our
Berkeley
counties.
You may have to drive to Berkeley every Saturday morning to drop the kid off. You and your wife go have breakfast or something, and then come back and pick them up at noon and go home.
I was just gonna say
But you have
that.
that on your resume.
One of my sons. Actually, I do have two sons. But
Oh, you gotta do too.
Yeah, my son, he actually likes like battle bots, right? And so we've been trying to find programs or whatever. So like we get these build box sent every month where he, think like an engineer by this engineer called Mark Roper or Rober or something. And so he builds all these things. So he's really into it. And we did look into a summer program for that, and it was at Berkeley. And yes, you did have to drive.
It's not cheap.
No, it was. It was for the week. I want to say it was like $1,500 for the week.
Oh, that's cheap.
Oh, is that cheap? So
That's cheap, man. These suckers be like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000,
okay,
man.
Okay. So I think it was like $1,500 for the week, but it was a commitment, right? Because you did have to pay it, then you had to go drive them, and I want to say it was an everyday thing. It was I think it was a 4-hour a day gig. So like what you said, go drop them off for 4 hours, go have lunch, and come back. But we like I live about as far from Berkeley as Sensei here does as well. So like I live all the way out in East Contra Costa County. So getting there would have been the issue, especially since I work the weekends. But that's a good idea to kind of take a look at as far as not pigeonholing your kids into an actual sport. Especially, like what Njord said, he got injured, right? Like Njord got injured in your senior year, so that kind of yeah. Okay, no, that's a good little tidbit there.
That's good.
There.
If you see anything academic, especially, man, if you see that your kid likes to read, if you see that your kid likes to lie, my kid liked to lie. She liked to lie.
Debate
So
lawyer.
we channeled that into creative writing.
Oh wow. Wow.
My youngest, so my oldest is 9 years older than my youngest. So when my oldest was my oldest is 9 years older than my youngest. When my youngest heard my oldest playing something hip hopish, she crawled over to the couch, got up on her and started, trying to beat, and we were like, "Baby, slow down, you're gonna hurt yourself."
Right.
We put her in ballet.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And that's a picture that a lot of people can't paint. Someone like her doing ballet for 12 years and being an honor student and all of this great stuff. It's a great picture that a lot of people can't paint. And that's what I talk about when I say painting a picture, building a house. You want to do something that differentiates your kid from the other 4 million kids out there.
Okay.
It can be hard, and you don't have to completely differentiate them, but if they could be in that top 5-10% of kids coming out of college coming out of high school who's been on a Berkeley campus for the last 5 years, who's done some kind of summer programming, maybe your high school has a program that you can be involved in. All of that stuff comes into play. You got to build this house, paint this picture, and all of that comes into play. You can't, here's what you can't do. You can't drop your kid off at school, go home, come back and pick your kid up, and feel like you're done for the day.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
You got to be involved.
Right. And beyond,
I mean,
beyond the school part, right?
We do soccer,
sacrifice.
baseball, ballet, dance.
Remember,
we do,
man,
we
reading club.
yeah we do. We got reading.
This on my daughter's resume, she was a outreach volunteer for the Democratic Party of Evanston. She was canvassing all over. She got to meet Jan Schiktowski, who is our federal representative. She's in a video with her. I mean, all of those kind of volunteer opportunities to get your kids exposure. You're in Solano County?
Yeah.
Oh, he froze.
Yeah, what are they doing? Who's the Solano County Democratic Party or Republican Party president who your kid can go and maybe volunteer for and make some phone calls and build up a network in that regard, and putting something like that on their resume for high school that a lot of kids don't have. But if your kid has a high school resume, they are 10 steps ahead of everybody else.
Oh man, there's some good knowledge, man.
Yeah,
This is good.
I really like the emphasis on non-athletic investments.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because a lot of kids. I mean, I'm from Oakland. They just had the All-Star weekend down at Chase.
Right.
And being from Oakland and being a former Warriors season ticket holder,
You gonna keep pushing the hell out the Warriors.
but what I'm saying is growing up in Oakland, JB, you were lucky you got to get out.
Yeah.
I was fortunate. I went to private school and had a dad who kicked my ass every day. But I grew up with a lot of cats who played ball. So I grew up with like Gary Payton, Jason Kidd. I would see those cats around town all the time. And there was a special on NBA TV about the history of basketball in the Bay Area. There's this guy, his name is Hook Mitchell. If you guys ever want to see a story, Google Hook Mitchell. He grew up down there where our cousin Jinx lives, JR.
Yep.
He grew up down there. He grew up down in the lower bottoms, and this dude was an awesome basketball player. If you listen to Gary Payton and Jason Kidd talk about him, they will tell you that he was better than they were. But he didn't make it, and so many kids don't make it, man. You got an injury on the screen right now. What were you playing, dude?
I wrestled.
Russell, and you probably had a really nice promising future, D1 wrestler, and then you got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Getting hurt is a little different from getting hurt. If this gets hurt, you're done. But there's a stronger chance that this may not get hurt as opposed to this.
Yeah.
Right.
I like to focus
Right.
on this.
Okay.
Right. Man, this
I will
okay.
say though, my daughter will start wrestling next year, anyways.
Dude, listen to me very carefully. That's a beautiful house to build, man.
Oh
How
yeah.
many female wrestlers do you know?
Oh, actually, I know a lot.
Okay,
I also-
hold on. My bad. You're a wrestler.
But
How
but
many
that's
other-
actually the thing.
How many
So-
other guys?
So that's the thing about it, right? The female wrestling side of things is slowly emerging now. Like it's actually starting to take off now. More schools are getting full on just female teams. I know I wrestled a girl on the off season out in Washington State, and when I went to go wrestle her, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I got this. This is awesome, right? And my dad just kind of looks at me like, okay, kid, right? I had no clue. I mean, and mind you, I was a California state champion at the time, right? And this girl wrecked me. I mean, just wiped the floor with me. Come to find out, she's now the #1 judo champion in the world. So I don't feel quite so bad, but still.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well, okay.
John, you got any questions?
Yeah, you know what? I want to
Just
kind of
so you know, though, man, I feel like a female wrestler is a pretty dope house, man. How old is your daughter?
She's 3.
Oh, man, come on, man. That's a dope house, man. If you get her wrestling, man, and she's wrestling all throughout high school, but then you sprinkle in some other stuff that's academic and non-athletic, oh, my God, you've got a beautiful house, man.
Yep.
I want to transition into
That's wrestling teaches too. Oof.
Yeah. I would like to know, because we do talk about, like, okay, let's build this resume, let's build this house. I personally wanted to ask you, like, what are some really good ways to finance it? I mean, like, looking at, I don't know if you could tell us different products or different accounts or anything, like, what would be better, a savings account or, like, a college, I don't know what the college tuition accounts are or whatever they're called. But what would be something you would suggest for one of us for that?
Right.
Want the game? I'll give you the game. Any college that matters is going to look at how much money you saved for college education and take that away from your award.
Oh, wow.
You didn't know that, did you?
So what you
So
telling
if
me?
you go to a college, Yep.
Break it down for us, because I
Yeah.
missed that.
So if you save $30,000 for college education and you're getting a scholarship for tuition, they're gonna take $30,000 off the top and then give you the remainder because they expect you to pay that $30,000.
And now, is that if
whereas if you told them, whereas if you told them you didn't have the $30,000, they wouldn't take that off.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, you
So
can invest
those-
in any kind of college plan that you want to, man. But I'm not
Wait,
going to give you any
wait.
financial advice because it can come back and bite me.
right.
This is not financial advice. This is just fellas talking about what we're gonna do when our kids grow up. Because my man up there, kids already grew up, and they're doing very well. These 529 plans and these other types of ordeals are something that they put out there so that they can have us save the money in there. So
That's what I was
Um,
looking for. Like, is there a plan or something? And then
yeah,
you
these
told-
colleges. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So what
That's
you telling
game.
me? What you telling me?
Let's
is,
move on.
I,
Let's move
I
on.
owe you $20
Telling you, man.
because the game is to be sold, not told. Okay.
told.
I'm gonna
I'm
sell
Okay.
you some money real quick.
You're from East Oakland. You should know.
Right. Wow.
It's a game. And I'm
Right.
here to tell you that when my daughter went to school, both colleges, so my youngest graduated from Carleton College, which is like, what is like, you'd have to go to LA and look at like a Pomona, or it's an elite private school, Davidson, Williams. And the minute they found out that my wife worked at Northwestern and she's got a tuition benefit, it lopped off that much money from her financial aid package. Same thing happened to my other daughter who got it at Northwestern. The minute they found out that my wife worked there and they had a tuition benefit, they lopped that off.
Wow. Okay.
So, the best advice that I can give, you can save all the money you want. The best money that I could give is to invest on the front end in your kid to build this beautiful house.
So that's what you're getting at.
Well, there you have it. That's the show.
Yeah, I was already
Invest
picking
on
that
the
up.
front end.
Instead of saving and putting it away for college later, turn around and
Let's
spend the
invest
money
it.
now.
Spend it now and build this beautiful house, man. Just build this beautiful foundation. If your foundation is strong, your structure is strong, it doesn't matter what you put on top of it. You've got a really good foundation, and it's only going to be a beautiful house.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you this: did you teach your daughters about financial literacy at any time during being a dad?
So I made some mistakes. You guys want to learn from my mistakes?
Yeah, come
Of course,
on.
That's what we're trying to do here.
My oldest graduated from Northwestern with a math degree and immediately got a $150,000 job as an investment banker in downtown Chicago.
Wow.
Okay.
She had a mental breakdown. Hours were too hard, 60 hours a week. It didn't work out. So, I say that in the sense that, all money ain't good money.
Amen to
Right.
that.
Correct.
We all believe that one.
But here's the mistake I made. And I should have told her this from day one. Save your money. And so that's my financial literacy advice to my youngest. And I've been telling her, save your money. Any employee investment programs that you can participate in, go ahead and max it out. Just save your money because she's only 23. I told her, I said, by the time you're 25, 26 years old, you're going to have a nice little nest egg and you're going to be like, okay, what do I want to do next with my life?
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
blow your money. Don't run out, spend all your money. Oh, fly here, fly there. My oldest was flying to different cities, having dinner for like, $1,500. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? $800 bottle of wine. So what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. So, that's been my financial literacy advice for my kids. Save your money.
It's like one of the things where it's so simple that that's the best answer. You know what I'm saying? Like we're looking for, like I said, that light bulb to be like, oh, this, and
And we got it. We technically just got it.
yeah, right. And it's just like, well, no, there's no special key. It's just like in Kung Fu Panda where Po opens up the scroll, and it's just a
Yeah.
picture. It's just a picture of him in there. Like, oh shit. Okay, you always had it.
Got it, man. And you guys are in great positions to take advantage of it. So
Wow. Is there anything else you got for us? Any special gems besides
I don't know
I mean,
what
we
you guys
got
want to
30
talk
more
about.
minutes.
damn. Hey.
And I feel like we
That's-
just got the
well, you
entire
know-
show.
Yeah.
There's so many people who make so many mistakes, man. I have friends who are renters, and I always tell them if you're paying $1,000 a month, you're probably missing out on $250,000 in financial benefit over 20 years. The financial benefit does exist. Someone's getting it. The person that you're paying the rent to is getting it. So why shouldn't it be you?
Right.
But it sounds like you guys are way past all that.
Barely.
Yeah.
I got in there right at the skin of the nose.
Don't matter. You got
Hard,
in,
man. In
baby.
the Bay Area is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough
Yeah.
out there.
Well, let me ask you this: oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm about to make up some
how-
shit. So go if you got something.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I'm making up shit too. Let's go. Chicago. It's not as bad as the Bay Area.
In terms of what?
Iraq.
No, what I'm talking about not the people. What I'm talking about, the financial burden, or out here in California, we
Cost
got
of
so
living.
much cost of living and stuff like it. We're pretty much the same, aren't we?
I mean, it depends on where you are. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. JB, you'll understand this. And Sean, you may understand this too. The worst neighborhood in Oakland, you cannot send your kids to public schools. The worst neighborhood in Oakland, you can get a 2-bedroom bungalow. JB, the house that I grew up in,
Yeah.
the hood, the Murder Dubs, the 23rd Avenue hood, that's a $500,000 house.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Out here, the worst neighborhood, you could easily get into a house for like $5,000. I mean, it's going to be dilapidated. If you can get into the hood, you might be able to get something that's livable for like $80,000. But it's not going
Wow.
to be anything,
Okay.
pristine.
So it doesn't compare. Not
No,
yet.
not even close.
Yeah.
So
no.
I'm
Okay.
I'm considered in one of
And
the
the
really rough
house
areas of
maintenance
my
out here
place.
is different. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
I'm considered in one of the really bad areas where I'm at, and I got my house for 140.
What's a really bad area? Where do you live?
I live in Little Rock.
Arkansas.
Are you in Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're in a. Obviously, me and Sensei here are from California.
I grew up in Orange County, California.
Okay, LA.
No, further south.
You said Orange County.
Yeah, that's LA County you're talking about.
It's all the same to
No,
him.
no. We're not LA. We're not LA, okay?
Orange.
I tell people I'm from the Bay Area, and they go, "Okay, the Bay Area. All right."
And
Yeah.
so New York, there he's he right now he lives in Arkansas, by way of Tennessee, by way of California, and then I always mess up where Crinley's from because I want to say like
North
South
Carolina.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah, so we're kind of all over
Raise
the place
up.
when it
Take
comes-
your shirt off. Put it on your head. Speak like the helicopter. I'll remember it.
Right now I won't forget it. Okay, man, that's some good advice right there.
Okay, so you gave us. You gave us one like mistake. Are the I don't know if you can answer this question fully. Just let me know. Are there some common financial mistakes that parents make that we should avoid? Is it overthinking stuff?
You have 6 months of savings.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. You got 6 months of savings.
No.
Yeah, if you got 6 months of savings, that's kind of like the benchmark. 6 months of savings. Can you live for 6 months without any additional income? That's kind of the barometer. If you can't do that, then you should probably make some adjustments. If you can do that, yeah, you're doing okay.
And okay, so just for some folks that might not even know what that entails, right? So when we're talking about, are we just talking about rent, or what other
Or
items?
mortgage.
All bills. No, sustainable living.
Right.
Like everything.
So, yeah. Well, I want to
What-
define that, for any viewer or listener that may not understand what you mean by 6 months worth of bills or whatever.
Yeah. So whatever your expenses are for a month, multiply that by 6, and that's how much you should have in savings.
Okay. So
That's good right there.
Yeah, that's
That is real good.
definitely one of the benchmarks that we talk about, especially like, we're in union jobs, and they always say, you need to, if you don't have that, you better have it, and like then you start
Right.
listening to like folks like is that David Ramsey, when he talks about at least the first thing you can do is put $1,000 a month, $1,000 away in your checking account. You'll be or your savings account, because you'll be way off more than most folks that are here in America, and then work towards getting to that 6 months worth of bills to kind of set yourself up. So I could definitely see that as being a benchmark for where folks need to be financially.
Man, if I could put away
considering
$1,000
that-
a month, that'd be freaking great.
I know. We're
You'll get there.
Well, we're in particular situations. I mean, we both had stay-at-home moms, or stay-at-home wives. So we got to put in extra and basically work for both the parents. So
Now, if she was working, I know
Oh.
what we were making. We would have been able to do that.
all right.
You know she's working too, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
We've had that discussion.
That's not what I'm talking about.
We've had that
'Cause, I mean,
discussion.
the minute you say,
We-
the minute you say I'm the only one in the house working, you know what's gonna happen.
Oh, absolutely.
No. That is
Get 'em,
not
cuz.
what I
Yeah,
meant by
that
that.
couch is gonna get real warm. Definitely have
Oh,
had that
man.
discussion already. What do you mean I'm not working? Hold on. You're just not getting
I'm
paid.
not sleeping on the couch. I'm not sleeping on the couch tonight, okay?
I mean, you pretty much like killed this list, but you made it so simple for us to like don't overthink it and don't, huh?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kill it for you.
You killed it. I mean, you just know what you're talking about. You're a dad, you work in this area, you know what I mean? And you've already done it. So, those three things like really make a difference in helping us young men, get through this dad's life, because we're trying to get to where you're at and get to the other side. But the people out there listening, don't overthink it. Make it simple. And when you listen to this podcast over again, because I'm damn sure gonna listen to it over again, because you dropped some gems on us. Make sure you write this stuff down, because you're gonna need this to be able to get to where Big Cuz up there is doing, man. He's living good. Hey, didn't you just retire and then decide to work again?
I don't know that I retired, man, but we were kind of making the decision if I really needed to go back to work. I didn't, but I felt a responsibility to go back to work, so I went back to work. So yeah, it was not etched in stone that I was going back to work.
Right. Because last time we talked, and then next thing I know, you're like, I'm calling you. You're like, oh, I'm at work. I'm like, wait, what? Hold on. What?
Yeah,
what are you
man.
doing? You
So
just can't still.
no, man, I work up at Northwestern. I'm in the business office of the chemistry department. The chemistry department at Northwestern is the third largest chemistry department in the world, and they are producing some serious research. It's right up the street. It fits my lifestyle, and that's the only kind of job I would have taken that fit my lifestyle. We're empty nesters. I'm in my 50s. I don't have an extra bed in the house on purpose. I have a man cave and a theater room. It just fit my, I'd literally get up in the morning, take my wife to work, drop her off, go to work, come back, pick her up, and come home. And we both could walk to work if we wanted to.
Right. That's last time I was out there, y'all was doing she was walking home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we're that close to campus. It's like living in Palo Alto and living that close to Stanford. I mean, and that's the lifestyle that we chose. And everyone in California thought we were crazy, but it's the lifestyle that we chose, and it's been good.
I ain't gonna lie. That's a drink out in I just came back from Turks and Caicos, and they got a beer called I Ain't Gonna Lie. It's crazy. But I was like, where the hell is he going when you guys left? Because I used to roll with y'all. Used to come and kick it with y'all. You would, your daddy used to watch me.
So, I mean, that's what I was saying. You grew up in the hood. I mean, I mean, you don't need to know what my father was and what he did. And
No.
you grew up in that house, so yeah,
Right. That's what I'm saying.
it's in your DNA. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I know, but we way past that.
Oh, bro, I've reinvented myself. No
I
question.
know, but I was like, damn, where is he going? And look at you, proud of you, man.
Thank you. No, I'm proud of you. And so,
I know.
you guys
Thank
are talking about what's in the cup, what fills my cup. Filling my cup was doing this podcast with JB. JB was my little brother before he moved up to Vallejo. And everything that I did, I mean, he got to watch me go to high school, watch me go to college. I went to Cal State Hayward, never say East Bay. And see, the guys from Solano understand that. So
Yep.
Yeah. So, this fills my cup, seeing JB, and I hadn't seen him when he came and saw me this past summer. I hadn't seen JB in, man, what, a couple decades?
Yeah, it's been some decades.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's not many of us. Look at me. I look like him. There aren't many of us around.
Right. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Guys got any other questions?
No, I mean I'm good. Like I said, I like I said, the information is good. You
Killed our shit, man.
well, I mean, like let's transition into some other things. Like I said, we did talk about the finances. We talked about the upfront investment with the kids. But this is a Dad's Life podcast, so like I said, we look for that dad life, dad advice. So, how long you been married?
Oh man, we have been. I met my wife in 19. You guys are kids. I met my wife in 1985. Man, we were
Okay,
20
okay.
and 21.
Okay.
And at JB, I was in college. That's when you met her.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and I'm not gonna make you say it, but I love you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, okay. So I want to ask. So let's just say it's been a very long time. What drop just a little gem on us about what it takes to have a. I'm not gonna say necessarily happy, because happy is always gonna be an up and down, cloudy,
It's ebb
sunny
and flow.
day situation. So, what does it take? Just one little quick gem that you share with us to maintain a healthy, long marriage. If you could pick
Compromise and
one,
sacrifice.
say that again.
Compromise and sacrifice. You can't be selfish.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's it. You can't be selfish.
Okay.
In therapy, huh?
That's it. You can't be selfish, man. I mean, everything else comes down to you can't be selfish.
Right.
Okay. Let's see here. What else can we get at you? We did talk
What
about
I've learned, but what I've learned in a recent mental health journey is that self-care does require a little bit of selfishness.
Oh, absolutely.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the things we talked about, I was just going to get into men's mental health. Self care is not selfish. Even though it can be, but a lot of people think, oh, you're just being selfish. No, it's self care, right? I'm not being
I gotta
selfish.
take care of me.
Yeah, exactly. In order for me to maintain that. So we did have a couple episodes about men's mental health and things like that. What about, first of all, how does it feel to have a job you don't need? Let me ask you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're retired, you decided to go back. I mean, how does it feel to be like, hey, I could be here because it fits my lifestyle, but if it didn't fit my lifestyle, I don't have to be here. How's that feel?
Spring. I gotta be honest with you. It's a little freeing in the sense that, I'm here to do a good job, and I will do a good job.
Absolutely.
But if it doesn't work out, it's okay. I'll do something else.
Okay.
You go to work
It's
in a
really
suit
that
every
simple.
day?
It's okay. I'll do something else. I'm healthy. As long as I have my health, I'll always be able to do something.
Okay.
You look like you go to work in a suit every day, do you? No.
Dockers in a polo shirt.
Okay, close enough.
Okay, and then like I said, drop one of the how do you keep work-life balance? Do you believe in work-life balance? Or what's something that you could
Absolutely.
what's a little piece of
You gotta
knowledge
have
you
it
could drop us on it?
This thing right here.
Oh shit.
That's it.
Working out. Okay.
That's it. You got to work out, man. And you know, when you talk about work-life balance and self-care, you know, you got to take care of yourself. If you want to be there for your families, you got to be there for yourself first. Because if you are not good, I guarantee you that they're not going to be good. So you got to take care of yourself first. And you know, self-care is selfish. Work-life balance is important. You got to figure out what that is for you. For me, it's working out, trying to stay fit, walking, things of that nature, spending time with my wife. You know, a date for us, and I'm about to date myself. A date for us is, you know, getting up, getting in the car, and going grocery shopping. We love that kind of stuff.
The club
Yeah.
you go to is
Hey.
Sam's Club.
Right, exactly.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Here we go again. I can't wait to be at that moment because I'm tired of all this. I gotta do something extra special.
you,
I-
Man, you
man,
brought that
man.
up on yourself.
I know you do the
Hey,
most.
I know.
Out of all of us, you do the most. So I don't even want to hear you complain about
Hey,
that.
did you guys know it was International Women's Day today?
It is.
Yes,
Is-
yes, I did know
Went and
that.
went and got my wife some seeds chocolate. You know what I did? I wrote her a hand letter.
Of course you did.
Yeah. And you sprayed it with some kind of
man, you're a
fragrance,
keeper.
and you mailed it via Spain. And
right,
Telegraph.
right.
You
Telegram.
know, you got to do those special things though.
Oh,
See if
my.
you get me somewhere. I'll let you know.
Maybe that'll be for after dark. That'll probably be for after dark.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Okay, so that
Well.
kind of brings us to the last 10. We're within the last 10 minutes of the show. You know, was there anything else that you want to drop on us, Ja? Anything that you know, we did say prior to the show where the conversation was going to go. You kind of hit us with a bunch of great things. Was there anything that kind of stood out? Maybe you could give to a young dad or young father or something. Just anything that you want to drop on us before we end our show this evening.
I think the biggest thing that I want to leave you guys with is that you need to invest in your kids. It doesn't have to be financial. Try to make it as unique as possible. And then try to start as young as possible. And you guys are right in that range. So,
Gotcha.
you know, the more money you spend on the front end, the less you'll have to work out on the back end.
Okay.
Hey, what can you give me advice of the 20-year-old that I'm dealing with? He in the military,
I
but
think you're done. I think you're done. He a man. He done.
You know what?
Burn his bed.
burn his bed. Love it.
yeah, it's gone. Trust me. The little boy that moved into his room already. He been as soon as he bounced
Right.
out.
Burn his bed.
You know what I do gotta say. I do gotta add to that thing that you said about investing early. You know, this is a picture of my dad right here. You know, he done passed away when he was in his 90s. He was 93 when he passed away. And at the
life.
time, long life. He had me when he was 52. And the gentleman here on the story or on the show already kind of know his story. But you did say something about being unique, and it's interesting that I'm finding myself appreciating what my dad did, even though at the time I did not. And case in point, I want to say when I was in elementary school, I went to Stonehurst Elementary in East Oakland. They had band at the time, and so my dad got me in the band, right? And it wasn't cheap because you had to rent the saxophone. We couldn't afford it. We grew up poor, but he rented the saxophone. So 4th grade and 5th grade, I played the saxophone. And then my dad taught Aikido, right? So if you guys don't know what Aikido is, Japanese martial art. And you know, he taught us Eskrima because we're Filipino. Every Filipino knows Eskrima. I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. But then he got me into archery, young, right? And I hated it. I hated all the practice I had to do. And we used to shoot string, so no compound bow. It was just a regular old, you know, you had to bend
Long
it,
bow.
and then, you know,
Long bow.
just shoot, right? And then he got me into golf, right? I actually got a letter from Castlemont on the golf team. Interesting, like, you know, being 1 out of 1, you know, you get a letter, right? But he got me into golf real early. On Sunday mornings, he'd wake me up real early. We'd go run, 9 holes and then come home. And at the time, I did not appreciate it. And I was very, very young. I learned how to drive when I was 6. He had a tow truck, so we jumped in his tow truck, and all these different investments that I did not take. I wasn't grateful for at the time. I sit here, I'm in my 40s now, and I have a 20-year-old, I have a 8-year-old, and I also have and I also have a 7-year-old, and I've seen the mistakes that I've made with my older one, right? And of course, I was a single dad for so long, and they always say the first kid is the one that teaches you how to be a parent because you're still learning. And there's a bunch of mistakes I've made along the way dealing with him that I hope that I don't make them with the smaller ones. And it's interesting that you say these things, right, to us about investment early. That doesn't have to necessarily be financial. It's interesting that you say, you know, not only extracurricular activities physically, but academically. Because art is not something that we have anymore in our schools. And my dad put me in, band, right? Now, out here where we live now, we have band, but back in East Oakland, they don't got any art program. Every art program has to come from a nonprofit outside organization. It's not sponsored by the schools anymore. But it's interesting that this, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and here we are in 2025, and you're saying these things that my dad did back in the 80s and 90s that, maybe he did know that, obviously, he was born in 1929, and maybe through his life, he wanted to do more for me than he that was being able done for him. But it's interesting that as the generations go by, the story doesn't change. As an experienced father, like you could look back and be like, hey, XYZ, and I'm excited to be able to do more with my younger kids, and then have folks like you come in and solidify what I couldn't identify it. I couldn't put a label or be able to explain what I would want it to do, because I want to be like my dad in that aspect. I want to put them in more, but there is no end game when I was doing it until you kind of put it in this box. Well, it's an investment in your kids, and you're going to build this painting, this house that's going to set them aside. Now, you might think it's just extracurricular activity, and I think one thing I want to add, for us here, and then of course the viewers or listeners or whatever, that not only is an investment with them, but it's also time spent, right? You are going to go to their games or to their meets or to their competitions, like robotic competitions or spelling bees, or, you're going to praise them and cheer them on, and it's going to be a core memory that you create with them. And again, it doesn't got to necessarily be athletic, but you're putting value into the non-athletic aspect of that investment. And I think, was it Crinley or Nord had said, you can't just drop them, you said you can't just drop them off at school and be done. No, you have to be engaged other than that, especially if you want them to be, unique individuals. You want them to stand out. That whole thing about, well, if you save money for college, when they go get that financial package, you just chopped your kneecap off, right? You might have one leg, but you chopped so look at other alternatives to financing college. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or again, like what you said, do that upfront investment that gives them that resume that they would require to, when people are looking at, when they're looking at, admission, applications, they're like, oh, we know who this kid is. We've seen this kid on our campus, the last, like you said, 4 or 5 years, and we like this kid. We like their parents, da-da-da-da. Let me just push them up like 3 more slots or something like that. But,
you're getting it. You got it.
Yeah, a lot of great information, and it's interesting, again, first time meeting, we appreciate you coming to the show, but being able to organize the thoughts that I had as individuals, and I'm kind of sporadic when it comes to certain things, and then you being able to okay, this goes in this box, and this goes in this box too, and all right, here goes your box, here goes that house, that portrait, that portrait that you're painting, and it's great to come from somebody that has experience, like JB said, or Sensei said, that you've done it, and you could send it out to the audience that we have, and when we share it to our friends, they can sit here and get some of that knowledge as well, and it come from value. So I appreciate that. I appreciate everything that you
And I
said.
trust this man.
Right. Okay.
I got no reason not to. That man.
I'm all right. I'm all
Okay.
right.
Hey, thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Is
Yeah.
You
there,
know?
is there anything else anybody gotta want to add before we kind of end up
Man.
here?
I don't think
I'm
so.
good. I mean,
Oh.
if anything, it
I
ended up
told
starting
you.
to like repeat.
Yeah, he killed
previous
it.
episodes, and I'd rather them go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so normally
that's
after the
it.
show, this is basically the end of our show. We actually have a after dark episode. We don't know what we're going to talk about. But first of all, Ja, you got about 30 more minutes you can hang out with us, or you got something
He
a little
want
bit
to
more.
watch. He want to watch the game.
I'm good. I turn my head every now and then watching the Warrior game.
Okay.
All right.
So that's gonna bring us to the end of our show. Again, last week we did talk about big purchases. We did talk about the house. Want to talk a little bit about the finances, but again, we're gonna take the conversation. It's gonna go where it's gonna go, and this is where it went. I still felt there was a lot of good value, a lot of good advice. Again, meeting a new friend of the podcast here in Ja. So big shout out to you. Thank you for coming. Want to say that. Do we got any end of show shout outs before we end our show?
Now we good.
Okay, I'm gonna take your silence as a no. So I just want to say one quick shout out to shadowpackwest.com. If you like this conversation, you like this content, head over there. You show your patron. You start your patronage as $1 a month. Again, that's gonna get you access not only to these. It's gonna show a little support to our podcast, and again, you get access to over 30 episodes of the After Dark show. We did just feature one of them that is free. If you head over there, you'll be able to click on it, check out, see what that content is. It was a really good conversation that I really would like to share with you guys if you guys want to go head over there and check that out. But I want to say thank you for listening to this week's or watching this week's episode of the Dad's Life Podcast, and we hope that you join us again next week, the next episode of the Dad's Life Podcast, where you can get your dad life, dad advice. Peace out.